Warning, this podcast contains spoilers. Warning, this podcast contains spoilers.
Let's go watch it in 2D. No, let's go watch it in 3D. But if we watch it in 3D, then is it worth the cost?
What's out there in the jungle? It's not a fun vacation.
Well, I'm not here for a vacation. Oh, God, sorry, Frank.
Sorry, strong form. Here we go. Oh, I got you.
Frank?
I got it.
Frank?
I don't got it. Disney's Jungle Cruise in theaters July 30th.
Hello, this is Adolf, and I have with me the Jakes. Say, whatchamacallit, Classic Jake?
Whatchamacallit?
Say, howdy ho, howdy ho, howdy ho, New Jake.
Howdy ho, howdy hi, howdy ho.
And today we're talking about the Disney movie Jungle Cruise. Now, I put up my review, and we haven't talked about this on air yet, so this is going to be the Spoilercast. So before we get into a lot of spoilers, I do want to give everyone a chance to talk about the movie and their overall thoughts. Classic Jake, what are your thoughts on this movie?
It's not so much a movie, but a kind of a passive theme park ride. But if you know that, you're going to have a blast with it. Just don't expect a movie.
New Jake?
Pirates of the Jungle. That's all I gotta say.
Exactly.
What did you guys think of the 3D?
Excellent.
Excellent. It's just a notch below. I almost gave it editor's choice, but there were a few cutout scenes, and there were a couple of scenes that were flat that should have had depth that didn't, because I think they rushed it. But besides that, it was excellent. Like I said, it was just barely did not make editor's choice for me.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'd concur.
And I concur too. It was extremely hard to write that review and not give it all the way, but it's like, no, it's not perfect. It's not. There's definitely some parts. I got some blowback. People are like, oh, I had a perfect experience. Well, I thought I had a perfect experience because it looked great in 3D.
Yeah, the one scene that pissed me off was when the riverboat was about to go over the waterfall.
Yeah.
And that smoke should have just come out, and it wasn't. It was flatter than flat, and that just pissed me off.
Now, there are some darkly lit scenes where there's a little bit of ghosting, but that's part of the theater, and I kind of would have liked more pop-outs here and there. Like,
yes.
I would have loved... This is the kind of movie that should have escaped the aspect ratio, where you have things that are really outside of the bounds of the movie screen. And I think that would have worked so well. It's hard to describe that, but it's one of those things that this would be the movie for it. Mm-hmm. And it was just on that edge. But there's so much here to love with 3D. And it's so beautiful. I feel like if you're watching this in 2D, you're doing yourself a disservice. I said that in my review.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is a must-see in 3D. In fact, Disney better release this on disc somewhere in the world in 3D, or I'm going to lie.
It's not looking good, but I mean,
I know. What?
Like Luca, Soul, possibly Black Widow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the movie starts off with amazing 3D, like when you're panning in the camera. I was like, hell yeah, I got my money's worth already in this scene.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, scene after scene after scene. We'll get to more about that in the spoilers, but 3D definitely great. And the movie, now I just enjoyed the hell out of this movie. Yes, I agree to a point that with Classic Jake, but at the same time, I don't care. I don't care because I had so much fun. It was exactly the kind of movie I wanted it to be, and I wanted it. It completely escaped my world. I didn't think about Corona. I didn't think about the world events. I just was involved in this movie, and this is like old school filmmaking. Just have fun and enjoy your characters. I love this movie. I struggled to find anything really to fault it, and I was like, screw it, I love it. I gave it a 10.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, like the story, the plotting, some of the acting didn't deter you.
Nope. It's exactly the kind of movie. It's exactly the movie it is.
Mm-hmm. Oh, one of the things I really liked about this movie had that old school Walt Disney feel, like when they started doing live, the politically incorrectness of late 60s Walt, just before Disney passed away, that old school feel to the stories, the bickering couple, all the non-PC stuff that they don't do in movies anymore.
Oh, I think Walt Disney would absolutely be cheering on this movie. He'd be like, hell yeah, you guys nailed it. It's so much fun.
Yeah, I mean, some of the stuff I really liked with Jesse Plemons' character, the way he was just so awestruck by just watching Emily Blunt's character just take the steel from, and he's just in awe. He's like, I'm going to enjoy this.
So what do you give it, Classic Jake?
I give it an 8.
All right, New Jake?
I'm kind of decided between like either a 6 or a 7. I'll say 7 because of the 3D.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm this high because of 3D and definitely and the fact that they just stayed so true to the ride in a kind of a cool way.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things I couldn't give it higher is something that's got to be said. Jack Whitehall's gay characterization of the old sissy stereotype. I'm sorry, this was not some revolutionary thing. It was pretty much a gay step and fetch it.
I mean, at least he fought back, and he wasn't like a particular, quote unquote sissy.
Yeah.
He was quoted as having like a strong punch by The Rock's character, but
Mm-hmm. But it just was not some, oh, look at us, we're having a gay inclusion. No.
No,
the one
kind of
scene,
tastefully done.
One scene they had, I'm sure, in most foreign markets, they dubbed out all the gay stuff out of that.
Yeah.
Oh, I imagine they just deleted that scene entirely, and it's totally fine without
exactly. It. Mm-hmm. So I was like, no, you don't get points for this. If anything, it's going to take points off the movie.
For me, it didn't bother me because he was that stereotype, but at the same time, he wasn't entirely like over the top with the hand gestures. It was like on the edge, like if you went too far, but it didn't bother me. And I guess the reason why I was so hot on this was just because of the pure fun entertainment value aspect of it, and it's just I could completely escape into this world, and I it's exactly the kind of adventure movie I want from Disney, and exactly the kind of movie that you're just happy when it's over and you escape the reality, and it got me by the balls, and it didn't let me go, and I was happy the whole way through. Probably a weird metaphor, but yeah. So that's the spoiler-free version of this review. We're going to go into spoilers now. Now on to the spoilers. So the movie starts off with Emily Blunt here trying to steal the artifact, right? To get in.
Yep.
And this whole little scene with like her brother doing like a speech, and she is like trying to steal this artifact, and the brother is given exposition and explain why they want to do this tour, and that this artifact will help them with the tour. And it was just kind of just that silly fun of she is hiding away from these people, and people don't notice, and if are they going to notice, don't notice. And I thought it was just so fun and clever, and just like, oh, this is so well done. I love this.
Yeah.
It's so well done when she opens up the chest or whatever, and that shot of light comes out, and that shot of light is 3D popping out, and the rest of it is black. I was like, wow. Did that happen to y'all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, that's perfect. That's a perfect use of 3D. That is, it just, that's how you do it. Because it really highlights the scene and it makes it more fun. And you have, the trailers don't show off these characters of the brother and Paul Giamatti being, oh, gotta give me my rent. And he was just so hamming it up, but I love it. And I love him in this.
Yeah.
But like his character didn't really matter into the story overall.
Yeah. But he's like, oh, I'm getting paid, so I'm going to earn my paycheck.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a stereotype, but I love it. It's a kind of fun stereotype of, he knows he's a stereotype, they've written it to be a stereotype, and it's not offensive, it's just silly. It's just silly.
I was kind of expecting him and the gay brother to hook up at the end of the movie, but I think that was a little bit too much for Disney to handle.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
now, if James Gunn had directed it.
So you find out Dwayne Johnson is here, and he's given a Jungle Cruise. And this is basically the entirety of the Jungle Cruise ride on Disney, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
And just how he plays it off and times everything was just so delightful. I mean, I love Dwayne Johnson, but he is so good in this.
Yeah. Yeah, he's definitely got the whole movie star charisma, the megawatt smile thing down pat.
Yeah.
And he's also grown into a really good green screen actor because like Rampage, he took a CG character and breathed life into it with his reactions to it.
I don't know what his thing is with jungles, but he's good in them, so why fight it?
Yeah.
No.
So I imagine they're going to cast him as Tarzan pretty soon.
He's just, every jungle style movie he loves, and he goes into them. It's like some kind of contract that we don't know about, and it's like a joke and a meme, but it's not like completely far-fetched. He's in Jumanji movies, he's in this, it's just every single jungle movie the last 20 years he's been in. Okay.
Yeah, The Rundown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I loved how, so we're going to be talking about the 3D in this movie.
Well, he wasn't in any of the Predator movies yet, but I imagine that's coming.
Yeah, they'll probably have to reboot that again.
Yeah.
So during this jungle cruise, you see that they're heading off to like this spiky wood, and that pops out so well. It's just like, oh my god. And
it poked my eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it perfectly complements the story that you're seeing here. That everyone's freaking out. Oh my god, it's going to hit us. Oh my god, it's going to hit us. And no, it's not. That was part of the fun of it. And that's part of like the fun of the ride. I don't remember. I've gone to Disney maybe once or twice in my life. I remember Jungle Cruise, and I was extremely happy how they were able to play this off. And how it just so perfectly goes with that 3D and that jungle opening shot where you're going in the camera and like looking at different panning, and it's like, wow, this jungle is fake, but I don't care. It looks great.
Yeah, and all the dad jokes from the ride.
Yes, the puns.
And they even made fun of how bad they are. That was even better.
I love the puns. I love them so much. It's just like so perfect. It's like, movie, I hate you, but I love you.
Yeah.
It knows exactly what it is, and it is that. And that confidence is what I just love, because it is exactly that goofy movie that you think it is, and it doesn't care if you don't like it. It is that, and it's a perfect version of that. And, scene after scene, you see that he's lying, and that he has his tricks on the Jungle Cruise to make it more dangerous than it is. And I was surprised that they didn't have a hippo.
Sam and the natives are all in on it, which made it even funnier.
Yeah, like they didn't have a hippo, and I remember the hippo being a big part of the ride, and like, oh, they look cute, but they're super dangerous. And There are no hippos in this movie, so it can't, but whatever.
Yeah.
And, you see that Paul Giamatti's Nilo is like, hey, you need to pay rent, and I'm going to take away your motor, and Emily Blunt is there, and she's like, I need to find this Nilo and hire him to get me to Jungle Cruise so I can go find this thing. And by chance, Dwayne Johnson sneaked into his office to try to steal his stuff back, and lo and behold, they have a misunderstanding, and Emily Blunt and Dwayne Johnson are like, oh, this is the same, I'm that character you think I am. And it's so played off in such a fun way, and I think Emily Blunt and Dwayne Johnson have awesome chemistry together. I love them in this, both of them.
Yeah, and I also noticed they were really this movie was not really made for American audiences, because a lot of the sexual tension and stuff is the type of stuff Hollywood tends to put in movies they market into countries that don't allow explicit nudity or sexuality, which is why I think they kind of did a throwback to the 60s kind of things they would do in movies that are today considered extremely un-PC.
So, Emily Blunt figures out that Dwayne Johnson's lying, and then by chance, there's a wild cat, a big cat, as a leopard, named Proxima?
Jaguar,
that attacks, and that whole scene is so much fun in 3D, and now people have said that Jaguar looked fake, and in 3D, it doesn't look fake. It looks really awesome.
Yeah. The other reason to see this
still
stuff,
kind of fakeish.
yeah, in 3D, because a lot of sins get just smoothed out and rounded out in 3D.
It looks like an actual animal. It doesn't look like a CG creature. I mean, that 3D rounds it out and it makes it work better. So they're like, okay, fine, we'll go on your cruise, and we'll do this, and they start going on it, and you eventually figure out that Dwayne Johnson's character Frank, he is one of the conquistadors, and there is a curse, because other people have tried to find out that there's this special flower or whatever that cures illness, and you find out the whole backstory of here, where these conquistadors a couple hundred years ago came by, and then they were saved by the tribe that lived there, and they got greedy and tried to kill them, and they cursed them to have different abilities. So you have like one that's a honey guy, and one that is like a bones guy.
Yeah, and of course The Rock is not deformed, but he was also the only one who stayed on the river. The other guys were kind of bound in vines and kept away from the river.
And you do have the German guy.
Played by Jesse Plemons.
As Prince Johann, and that he...
Yeah, son of Wilhelm.
He needs to have this for the World War I, and if he gets the leaf, then he could keep fighting. It's just so goofy, but I love it.
Mm.
So then he unleashes the rest of them because they're in the water, and like this awesome little scene here with like he's talking to the skeleton, and he gives them the water. He redoes and they come back to life, and that these snakes are popping out of the screen. It's like, oh, I love it.
Yep.
It's perfect. It's perfect for that scene. The 3D perfectly jumps out at you, and I just love it. I love how it worked. And those snakes always pop out, are always popping out of the screen and look really good. And so now we figure out, we have this scene here where Jack Whitman, as the brother, talks about being gay, which he doesn't like completely say it. I think if you're really dumb, you might not catch it.
Mm-hmm.
But anyone...
and in a lot of markets, they're probably going to cut this scene, or they're going to dub it where it's Well, the character's not gay at all.
I mean, it's easily cuttable. I mean, it's a scene on its own. It's probably like a solid 2 minutes of just them talking.
And I couldn't believe people were having. This is a criticism I noticed online. People had about this scene. They were like, "Okay, The Rock's character. Why is he having problems with Emily Blunt wearing pants, but he understands gay men?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Duh, ship at sea." This is a time period when he was a conquistador. You might be at sea for over a year. Of course he's going to know what gay men are. I mean, duh. Think about it. Just duh. It's obvious. So, sometimes people just are weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, pants is a new thing for him, where if he's around for 500 years and is talking to people, you're bound to see people that are gay, and it's just like you're bound to live with them and understand them, and it's okay. You get over it. But pants is a new thing for him. He's never seen such a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, he's probably never seen a woman in pants.
No.
And you see Emily Blunt occasionally having like this camera, and she's taking like this old school black and white video, and it goes 2D for these scenes, and it's like, oh my god, I want to go back to 3D because I loved how beautiful it looked in 3D, and then these two black and white 2D sections are jarring, but that contrast is there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a nice touch.
And you eventually see that Dwayne falls off. You know, he gets captured by the native tribes, and they're in on the job. And I love that. I wasn't sure that was going to happen or not, but I thought that was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then he falls down, and I was like, "Oh crap, he's dead." He like hits the tree, different limbs going down multiple times.
Yeah, and I was like, "Bravo," because they had me at that. Actually surprised me when they have to pull the knife out. I was like, "Well done, movie." I was not expecting that twist.
Yeah,
No.
I was not expecting that either. I mean, that was a really cool scene too, because you're seeing him fall down, and the way he's falling down, he falls down like different layers of 3D, and it just keeps falling down, and it really helps. And then there's a whole scene with them on a waterfall, and that the depth there really worked for the 3D too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they missed an opportunity because that's where they should have done. Now this is the backside of water.
So they had the whole 3D in this whole movie was a lot of like looking through the window kind of 3D, where you just feel like you're part of the scene there with them. And yeah, when he has to get the sword out of him, and I was like, well, I guess she's going to use the leaf or whatever to resurrect him. I was like, oh, he's already dead. Okay.
Yeah.
I did not expect that. And yeah, you're not going to survive those hits going down that high up, multiple hits that way. No way.
Yeah.
Even Disney movies, you're not going to expect that.
Yeah.
And that was really fun. And I like that backstory there. Made sense for the context of the movie. And now you know the game. Now that you know that the other guys are there, they're invincible. I mean, it was just goofy fun, and you get to eventually where the tree is, and then they have to go down. Like she has to finally swim, and she doesn't know how to swim. And I like that they give her a hard time about you're going on an Amazon trip down the river and you don't know how to swim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she has to swim under there, which she's able to figure out how to swim pretty well, pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And like pull the lever, and like piranhas start eating up Dwayne, Frank here, and he gets oxygen for her. He's like, okay, that's a cool, nice touch. And the underwater scenes look nice in 3D, and I was kind of half expecting parts of Dwayne Johnson to be like Skeleton.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they couldn't go that far because he's the star.
Yeah.
Like, I was expecting that to happen and be like Wolverine, and he regenerates it, and that's how he lives forever. He just can't. He can get hurt, but he just restores it, and they go inside, and they get you see like thousands of blooming tree leaves, and it's gorgeous. And they have the whole last fight and Dwayne Johnson dies, and you're like, oh, okay. And she rescues him, and they have another leaf to help him out.
That I hated that part.
It was just too perfect.
I mean, yeah, but it's just like if you're searching and you're wanting to do the greater good of like research for help thousands of people's lives, and you save it for one person, that is extremely selfish.
Agreed.
So, they managed to escape, and they're back in England, and he's driving a car, and she has the, everything's good. You don't know if she ever figures out how to reverse engineer this leaf thing, or whatever.
I mean, based at the end of the movie where she's invited to join that club, and the brother's like, she's not going to join. It's kind of implied that she does.
Yeah.
And movie ends that way, and it's just perfectly fun. Just completely old school matinee kind of movie. I don't know how to better describe it. Classic chick, you know what I'm talking about?
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
This is the silly Saturday morning matinee that you go with the family and you enjoy it, and everyone has a good time, and it's just fun. And I had so much fun. I've been wanting to escape this movie, to escape this world that we currently live in, and I got it here.
I just wish I lived someplace where I could have got to a D-Box 3D screening, because I imagine that would have been a hoot.
Oh, yeah.
Or 40X.
Yeah, there's no 40X here either, so...
I would have liked more splashing water on the glasses, or, things staying out of the frame. But overall, I think it looks great. I love Emily Blunt here. I imagine that they can make a sequel to this. I don't know how, but like if they want to do Arctic Cruise or something, I don't know, or Mountain Cruise, or I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of refreshing seeing the ending of the movie, and it's standalone, but you can also make a sequel out of it. It's better than a lot of movies nowadays. No sequel baiting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If Disney wants to do it, they can. If it depends on the box office, which I think it's doing okay.
I mean, it made like $91 million combined with worldwide and Disney Plus. So I mean, it's pretty fantastic.
Yeah, that's in today's post-pandemic cinema world. That's not shabby. Of course, the next project this director and The Rock are doing together is the Black Adam movie.
I can't
wait. And I can't wait.
Yeah.
It's just fun to see something original that it both is original, but it also feels like an Indiana Jones movie or
This is kind of the African Queen meets Indiana Jones meets the Mummy.
Meets the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Caribbean too, yeah. I mean, they just take the highlights of all these movies and kind of put them in a blender and came out with this formula, and it works.
With a nice 3D cherry on top.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I said, to me this was more of a theme park. This is everything Scorsese said about these kind of movies. I mean, it's absolutely true. Doesn't mean it's not enjoyable. It's very enjoyable.
Yeah, there's no depth here. And I said that in my review. There's absolutely nothing really of substance. I mean, the gay character is there, but it's not like...
Yeah, the thing is, this is a movie based on a theme park ride. How much depth do you need?
And I don't really care. I can have tons of fun.
I want a treatise on existentialism. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want them to start, really talking about what the meaning of life is, or to cry about the Spaniards of the past, or I didn't need that. I just needed entertainment, and this gave me every entertainment to the. I was completely entertained from beginning to end, and I loved this movie. So
You mean you didn't want German expressionism in your Disney film?
no,
Yeah.
it's just fun, and I'm happy. That's all I want. And fun factor is definitely something. Entertainment value is something, and yeah, there's no, it's not gonna make you cry like, other movies, but it's so much fun and enjoyment.
Yeah.
I had a blast, and I love it.
It's a good family movie.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty rare that you can find a family movie now that like this, that everyone could watch and enjoy.
I mean, when I went to see it in 3D, it was more crowded than Black Widow. I mean, just like with families, I was hugely surprised.
And Emily Blunt, and she's
Charming.
one of the they like, I would imagine that their banter would get annoying, but it didn't. I was happy with it. I loved how they worked together. I think she's just awesome. She's one of my favorite actresses right now, and Dwayne Johnson is one of my favorite actors too. So it just works.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else you want to mention?
No, I just think we probably got The Rock's opening salvo for his exploratory plans for eventually running for president of the United States, probably.
Oh, there's one thing. If Disney's listening, please release it in 3D. All your movies, please. Like the ones that are in 3D. Thank you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we don't care what country in the world, because we will smuggle it into the United States.
Region free, of course.
Yeah.
I want region free.
I'm not restricted that way, but to my friends who are, please make it region free.
It's just so sad that if this does not get a 3D Blu-ray, and you only had a week to watch it in 3D in theaters, and so many theaters are not open right now. All over the world, there's different restrictions on going to the cinema. Obviously, because COVID is such a huge deal again, and there's places that are locked down and they can't see the movie even if they wanted to. So it's just one of those things where it's such a beautiful 3D conversion here. It'll be a tragic waste to never be able to see this again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, this would just be like a pinnacle of Disney 3D to have at home, that to just show off.
Yeah.
Because like that opening scene alone is just like, this is how you do it. This is how you show and pan through and see the jungle, and the water, and just have everything here. It just works so well for 3D. It's like you said, it's so hard not to give it like an editor's choice, but it's not perfect. It's just on that edge of being perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't bring myself with just too many cardboard kind of pops. It was just too much cardboard effect, and then that one smokestack scene, that was it. It was flat, and I just nope, can't give it editor's choice.
Yeah.
But damn, it's close and it's good.
Yeah, I mean it's not Boss Baby 2, but I mean,
yeah,
3D at least.
Yeah, I mean, this is a really good conversion.
It is almost perfect.
I don't know if they could have made it better by filming it, because a lot of the movie is green screen. So a lot of the
Yeah,
stuff...
exactly. And conversions are getting nice. I mean,
yeah.
So you can't do you're going to convert parts of it anyway, because you can't have the actual actors on the Amazon River, or a river that looks like it. You can't have it that way.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So, yeah. This is definitely worth your time, and it's just fun. It's just pure entertainment. Escape the world and have just fun, and that's it for me. Bye.
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 Before this podcast wraps up, I want to thank my patrons. Thank you, Kano3D, Mr. Bengal 5, and Kevin Winter for your financial support on Patreon.com.
So that's going to be it for this podcast. Thanks for listening. You can find 3D or 2D on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Pinterest, Instagram, and more. Just look for 3D or 2D. Links are in the info box. If you want to send us listener mail, our email address is email3dortwo@gmail.com. Thank you for either listening or watching this podcast. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.